Hello guys, it's Ivan here checking in. First things first, hope you guys are well. Second, today's concept is one I've been hinting on, but let's get into it. It's basically knowing who you are. Now, first of all, what are the sub concepts or the contents of knowing who you are? I'm just gonna hint on a few of those and how they're relevant. Now, of course, the history part, where knowing your family history is crucial because it's a part of who you are, because those are your roots. Obviously, that goes without saying. Even the most tough person, I think, should be able to get this, and I'm sure you guys are a lot smart, obviously. Now, the other point, or the next best crucial things are discovering your weaknesses and strengths. Obviously, that goes without saying. Those are like roughly the best way to surf your way around around or through life at your maximum, because by knowing your strengths you know how to manipulate them to become successful, and your weaknesses how to work around them, not ignore them or stay away from them or run away from them, but work around them so you can succeed, obviously. And also, by knowing your weaknesses, you're much more likely to recognize when someone is trying to manipulate you along your weakness lines, so to speak. And that, I think that's a really good thing. I don't know about you guys, but anyway, yeah, the strengths and weaknesses, those are obviously also an obvious thing that when people hear about, they know what to do with that. Now, the last bit I think is the deep one that I just actually realized when I was listening to this TED talk called "Searching for Love to Escape Who You Are" by Harley Quinn. Definitely recommend it. The minutes, I don't know if it's 18 minutes or however long it was, definitely worth it, guys. Check it out. Searching for Love to Escape Who You Are, Harley Quinn. Now, what is this? This video was basically those people who go out every single night to go to clubs and bars and are trying so hard to find someone to invest in to run away from their problems, so to speak. They're trying to find someone to invest their interest in, or to immerse themselves in, so that they forget about their problems. What they don't know is how, no matter how fast or how far you run, regardless of whether you're the Flash or your Impulse or whomever you are, it's like trying to run away from your shadow. No matter how fast you are, your shadow will catch up with you, and sooner or later you're going to have to spend sleepless nights to fight them demons, child. So what am I trying to say here? Sorry, by the way, the other thing is, how is it relevant to this whole concept of knowing who you are? So first of all, the whole point I'm trying to drive here is, stop trying to run away from your demons, because no matter how fast or how far you run, they will catch up to you sooner or later. Because there's kinds of people who are fond of going out every night, or basically trying to look outwards for things to fix what's inside, to try and get over or try to get rid of their demons that are inside. What they don't understand is, or for to them in their world, being in their lonesome makes them feel like they're alone, or makes them feel the inherent need to find someone, or to immerse themselves in a relationship, so they have to escape themselves, which shouldn't be true. Now, how is this important to knowing who you are? Now, this is important because when you understand who you are, or you actually put in the work to discover and accept who you are for yourself, for who you are, you will understand really quickly that, obviously, for one, you don't necessarily, when you're alone, you sorry when you're in your lonesome, you're not necessarily alone. And thank goodness you also understand that you don't feel the inherent need to try to feel that, I don't know, to try to immerse yourself in a relationship. You don't feel that need, so to speak. When you get into a relationship, it's because you want to, or you feel like, so basically, I don't know how to explain it. It's like when you discover yourself and accept yourself for who you are, self-sustained, so to speak, in a sense, in a way that you don't you don't need things, but you only want them. I don't know if that makes sense. For example, if it's a relationship, I say you don't necessarily need to be in a relationship every given point in time to realize your self-worth. For example, like these other guys do, who don't obviously know who they are, or who are trying to look outside for tools to fix what's broken inside of them, or who are trying to run away from their demons. When you By taking the time to actually self-discover and understand who you are, you fight your demons. You take the time to cry through the pain that's been locked inside, or to walk through the anger, or all the issues that you have, and you get to a place where you're at peace with yourself, at peace with spending your time with yourself. And that's the whole point of what I was basically trying to imply by when you're alone, when you're in your lonesome, you're not necessarily alone, because you enjoy being with yourself, you are at peace with yourself, so to speak. And now this is a very good place to come from, especially when you're entering the dating realm. That way, the relationship, if you get into a relationship, it's more like two self-sustaining entities coming together to form an ecosystem, so to speak. This is a probably terrible metaphor, but you guys bear with me. I think it's working quite well. Two self-sustained entities coming together to form an ecosystem where they're sharing and interacting, as opposed to a relationship where someone who doesn't know who they are, or who is running away from something, gets into a relationship where they feel like instead of being two self-sustained entities, they're two half-assed entities. Or one of the entities is not fully developed, so to speak, and is necessarily reliant on the other one to survive, which by definition is a terrible relationship, because it's more like a survival thing as opposed to a mutual thing where everyone's bringing something to the table. The other one is taking and one's giving, and that's like a parasitic relationship as opposed to a healthy one. For anyone who's been in a relationship, I'm not sure if you're also your sort of understanding of a relationship is what I described it, with the two self-sustained entities coming together and sharing a realm, or forming an ecosystem where they're sharing and interacting and growing together, as opposed to one sucking off of the other one, or the other way around, or something like that, something weird like that. Obviously that never works. But anyway, so after a few too many words and 8 minutes, what point am I trying to bring to your attention here? Basically, one of the most satisfying things that you will ever do, for those who actually haven't discovered who they are, is going on a self-discovery journey. Because not only is it worth your time or crucial, but also it clears your head, or clears your heart. Because people have a lot of frustration, people have a lot of pain, people have a lot of anger, or whatever issues they're trying to hide, they will try to run from. And by the way, the farther you run, the more they build up. They're not going any farther. They're just staying inside somewhere in your heart, in there. So the farther you run, they're just staying there. But by actually taking the time to cry through the pain, to tear through the anger, to walk through all the issues that you have, you will be peaceful. I can promise you that much. Along with obviously the other benefits that come with it. You will approach love with a new, different perspective, obviously, because you're coming in from a place of being self-sustained, from a place of not being needy, or being wanted to take something from the other person, but from a place of wanting to share the other person, or stepping into their world and letting them step into yours, and you guys creating a whole new realm, so to speak, as opposed to you trying to conquer her realm or something like that, some shit like that.